So I sent this 30 card PSA submission back in April, and I finally got it back. That sweet, sweet dopamine of revealing grades is hitting hard. This return is wild. We've got crazy price jumps, including the most expensive card I've ever graded. As always, I'll go over the cost, the value of each card, and at the end, I'll give myself a letter grade to see how I did. My goal in these PSA submissions is to get 20 out of the 30 cards that I submit to come back at 10. All right, let's get right to it. First card up in this submission is Cerulege from Surging Sparks, illustration rare. I got this card on eBay. I bought it raw to try to see if I can get some eBay cards to come back a 10. PSA gave this card a 10, which is great. So, I mean, this just proves you have to get a little bit lucky, but you can get 10s from buying raw cards on eBay, although buying like higher end cards and getting 10s is a bit tougher. Probably like my second favorite card in the Surging Sparks set. I'm going to sell it as is, even though I believe in the future of this card. Up next, another Cerulege from Surging Sparks. Again, I also bought it off eBay, and I do believe this card's value is really low right now. I think it has potential to go into the multiple hundreds, but what do I know? I'm an idiot. I know nothing, okay? PSA gave this card a 10. I like it so much, I'm gonna actually keep this one, because again, I'm gonna wait for the value to go up a little bit, and then I'll sell it. Okay, the third Surging Sparks card in this submission, we have Skarmory illustration rare. This card, again, I think is really undervalued. I think it's a gorgeous card. Skarmory is so shiny and magnificent and beautiful. PSA gave this card a 10, so we're 3 for 3 so far. We're looking good. The value of this, though, however, is not very high. But when I sent the cards in, I think it was around 100 or so, but of course it's dropped. So I'm going to hold on to it for a bit. I'm going to keep it for a little bit because I think the value will go up, and then I'll probably sell it then. Now, this is my absolute favorite card in Surging Sparks. Again, though, this card has gone down since my submission. Look at that beautiful, glowing, luscious locks. I am incredibly jealous. I look more like the Diglett up in the left corner of the card. PSA gave this card a 10, which, yay, but the value is so low, but I don't really care. I plan on keeping this card really no matter what at this point, because I love it. It just speaks to me. I can't explain it. Up next, we have Napoleon. We have Empoleon V from Battle Styles. I think he's channeling his inner Karate Kid here, striking a really cool pose, showing off his balance. I don't know. I know nothing. This card I cracked out of a Beckett 9.5. PSA did give it a 10, which is great. Cracking Beckett 9.5 to 10 on modern cards is a fairly low-risk operation. I wouldn't really have a hard time getting rid of it, so I am going to sell it. Up next, we have Charizard VMAX from Shining Fates. This one I got out of an SGC 10. Again, I probably overpaid a bit in terms of trying to get the most value out of it, but I like cracking some SGC cards to see if they come back PSA 10s as well. PSA did give it a 10. The value of this card has like barely changed at all. I think the pop is really high in this card. I don't think it was too hard to get a 10 in. Maybe there's a little bit of Charizard fatigue. Maybe people are sick of Charizard. I know I am. No, I'm kidding. I like Charizard. But I'm going to sell this card. I don't really have the desire or the need to keep it. Up next, we have Lucario GX from Pokemon Sun and Moon. I got this one out of a Beckett 9.5 as well. PSA gave this card a 9, and I think it is because of the front centering. The left to right is pretty off, but I still decided to take the risk, and unfortunately, you can't win them all. So losing some money on this one, but I still am going to sell it. Up next, we have Sleepy Sleepachew from Lost Origin. He's kicking his trainer in the face. I got it out of a Beckett 9.5 as well. Let's just isolate Pikachu's face here for a second. I don't know why they designed it like this, like he looks like he's moaning. It's weird. Forget I even mentioned it. PSA gave this card a 10. Sweet. But every time I see this card now, I'm just going to think about Pikachu moaning, so I'm going to end up selling it. Cynthia's Ambition from Crown Zenith. A relatively cheap card, but it's a nice card. Cynthia's kind of cool. The Gastrodon or something is there. I think that's a Gastrodon. I was looking at her like, what you thinking about, Cynthia? Well, the domination, maybe. He's ambitious. PSA gave this card a 10. I'm going to end up selling the card. Up next, we got Deoxys V-Star from Crown Zenith. The Deoxys cards from Crown Zenith are fantastic. I think Deoxys is pretty cool. He's traveling through some kind of weird speed time vortex of sort. I don't know. There's like random purple asteroids floating around. PSA gave it a 10. As much as I like it, I enjoy it, I am going to sell it. I love this card. This is Dragonite V from Evolving Skies. When I saw it at my local card shop, I had to get it. PSA gave this card a 10. You know, maybe it's a good thing that the submission's taking so long, because like all Pokemon card values are just appreciating. With that being said, though, I like this card a little bit too much, so I'm probably going to keep it for a while. I think it still has some room to grow, and I just really like this card. Oh, it's Pikachu from Crown Zenith, and look at all his friends that have joined him for this card. You got Crobat and Zacian and Zoroark maybe, and Inteleon or Calyrex or Urshifu maybe. I think that's who's on the card. I'm not quite sure. This card's got a lot going on. And PSA gave it a 10. We've gotten a 10 on almost every card so far. We're doing fantastic. I'm gonna sell the card though, because nothing really speaks to me, and I'm okay with getting rid of it, so that's fine. Okay, I've been trying to get my grimy little paws on as much of these stamped cards as I possibly can without actually buying booster boxes, because I don't want to buy booster boxes. I think long term, this stamped card will do really well, but again, I don't know anything. It's pure speculation. And I think Reshiram is really popular. I think N is popular. Not as popular as his N's PP up card. I understand that. That's a very highly sought after card. But anyway, PSA gave this card a 10, which is great. It makes me feel good that I vetted the cards enough that I got a good grade on it. With that being said though, I'm probably gonna end up selling this card if the value is right, but we'll see. Like I said, I really like this card, so I got another one. I sent it in with high hopes because it looked pretty clean to me. PSA gave it a 10. That's fantastic. That's 2 of these stamped cards in a 10. Really happy about that. I will also probably try to sell this one if I can at a decent price, because I know I can't keep them all, right? Oh, look, it's the 3rd one of these in a row. I may have sent 3 in, okay? Like I said, I don't have a problem. I just like this card. PSA gave it a 10. So that's 3 of these stamped cards I have now in a 10. I am actually going to hold on to this one. I'll keep it because like I said, I believe in the long-term growth of this card. Yeah, I think it's kind of cool. Okay, last one, I promise. This is it. This is the 4th card of the Reshiram stamped card. Okay, I promise, for this submission at least. And PSA gave this card a 10. So that's 4 Reshiram stamped cards that came back as a PSA 10. We're doing fantastic so far. Again, every single card but one so far has come back a 10. I'm going to keep this one as well. Hold on to it for a bit because again, I think it's going to go up. Well, Lord. Oh. Whale Lord illustration rare from Journey Together. I do think this card is undervalued. It's a whole subjective thing. I just think the card is fantastic. And PSA gave this card a 9, so not looking great there. I'll sell it. I'll eat the loss. It is what it is. It's fine. We're still looking good. We're looking great. We're just going to keep moving on. Here's another example of a card that's been shooting up lately. It's Red's Pikachu, which is a promo card. This card I got in a Beckett 9.5. I got it at a really good deal, I felt, at the time, because I think the PSA 10s were around 300. Nowadays, they're a little bit more. Well, let's see what PSA gave it. Gave it a 10. Now, this card is amazing, but I do have it in a CGC 10 on my shelf behind me. So I'm probably going to end up selling either this one or the CGC one. I'm not really quite sure yet. But yeah, we'll just say sell for now, even though this card I still think will probably keep appreciating in the future because it has Red and Pikachu. And here's a tag team card. I know these ones have been going crazy too. It's Japanese one, so it's not as popular as the English ones, but we have Espeon and Deoxys GX from Sun and Moon. This card I also got in a Beckett 9.5. Got it at a decent value, I thought. PSA gave it a 10. Great, can't complain. I don't feel the need to keep this card. I'm just gonna go ahead and sell it and take the profit. I'm super happy with that. So this submission's going fantastic so far. Let's keep it up. Gengar and Mimikyu GX tag team from Sun and Moon. This card I got in a Beckett 9, but it had really good subgrades for a Beckett 9. 2 9.5s and 2 9s. That's almost a 9.5. Even if I get a 9, I'll probably still make a little bit of money here because this card I know at the time was going up a little bit. PSA gave it a 10, which is insane. This card has absolutely skyrocketed now to an insane value. I did not expect to be this high. I didn't even expect to get a 10. I'm elated. I'm over the moon. But I'm gonna say something, and this is probably a bit of a hot take. I don't like this card. I think it's ugly. I like Gengar, I like Mimikyu, but something about this card is just gross. It's not for me, okay? That's fine. You know what that means, right? It's easier for me to sell. So I'm gonna go ahead and sell this card. I would be a fool not to sell this card at that crazy profit that I just got. I feel very lucky, and I'm just gonna take advantage of that. See you later, Gengar, Mimikyu. I'm sorry to call you ugly, but you know, it is what it is.
I will haunt your dreams until every waking moment of your life is pure suffering.
Yeah, what he said.
All right, so I said the card before this I thought was ugly. Maybe some people think this card is ugly, but I think this card is wonderful. I absolutely love it. His facial features are so small and his head is so large. For those of you who may not know what Pokemon it is, it's EVGX from Sun and Moon. Is a Japanese version of the card. I got this one in a Beckett 9.5, cracked it out. PSA gave it a 10. I'm gonna keep it because I just really like it. I might sell if it goes up even more, but I want to hold on to it for a little bit. Something about this card just makes me happy, and that's what it's about, right? All right, so I'm treading into vintage territory here with this Latios reverse foil Delta Species card. I got it in a Beckett 9.5. The subgrades weren't perfect, but I got it at a really good price. So I'm like, even at a 9, and the way vintage has been going, I'll probably make some money off of this card. So I was honestly expecting anywhere between an 8 and a 9 based off my previous experiences with Beckett to PSA in this kind of era of cards. PSA decided to give it a 9, which, again, perfectly fine by me. I was considering cracking it out and setting it to CGC to maybe try to get a 10, but there's some whiting on the corners. There's like a little mark on Latios's chin. So I'm okay with the 9, and I'll take the money and run, which I love to do. Even though I'm a terrible runner, don't even ask me what my mile time is because it's horrible. Anyway, enough about me. Let's move on. I'm going to sell the card. We got Blastoise EX from Scarlet Violet 151. So Blastoise in this card is clearly drowning. I think he's forgotten how to swim. This card's awesome. I got it in a Beckett 9.5. I probably overpaid for it at the time because I thought this card was going to keep climbing, but 151 has kind of dropped a little bit. PSA gave it a 10. Awesome. That's great. I'm going to keep this one. Up next, another vintage card in the submission, which I said I don't really like to do. You guys, I doubt you'll be able to guess what grade it got because this is one of those rare grades. Honestly, anything like above a 7, I was going to be okay with. And PSA gave it the old classic 8.5. You don't see that much nowadays from PSA. That's pretty rare. It's a fantastic card, though. I love Charizard's pose in this. I was fortunate enough to have the English one at one point, even though I sold it. I'm going to end up selling this guy. I think it's just funny to get an 8.5 because, like, sometimes PSA 8s are, like, should be 10s, should be 9s, but, like, I'm not going to crack it or anything or send it out anywhere. I'm just going to sell it as is. Okay, up next we have Raging Bolt EX from Temporal Forces, special illustration rare. I like the design of this card. He's almost like part of the thunderstorm up above at the top of the card. I got this one at a Beckett 9.5. Can we stay a little lucky here? Maybe get another 10? No, PSA gave it a 9. This is now officially my worst performing card of the submission, losing quite a bit of money here. I definitely took a risk, but hey, again, you can't win everyone. That's fine. I'll sell it as is. We're going to take that off the chin and move on. It's fine. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I cannot make out what the heck is going on in this card. There seems to be like a fish, but then like, is the fish on top of a bigger fish or a bigger turtle thing? There's gems everywhere. It's blue. It is nice looking, but I'm just confused as to what is going on. PSA gave it a 10. I have no attachment whatsoever to this card. I'm going to end up selling this card. Perfectly fine to get rid of it. That's cool. I finally got my hands on a Pokemon Center stamped card. So excited when I saw it. PSA gave the card a 9, so not great. So losing a little bit of money, but I am going to sell it as is. It's fine. Ethan's Adventure from Heatwave Arena, I believe. I didn't think I was going to make much money off this card, even if it came back at 10 at the time, but I needed to fill out my submission a little bit. So I ended up buying it at kind of a high price. And of course, the set like kind of just came out when I bought it, which is never really a good thing. If you're buying a raw card when the set comes out and then grading it and then you have to wait months and months and months, you know, he seems to be having a great time with his pal Pichu on his shoulder.
Yay! I love you, Ethan! Haha, yeah, Pichu!
Slugma, I think, is looking longingly at Ethan. He wants to be the one on Ethan's shoulder, but I think if he did, he would, like, absolutely burn the crap out of him. I don't know, is Slugma just hot? Is Slugma just like lava? How does he just move around and not leave devastation everywhere he goes? I don't know. PSA gave it a 10, which is great, but then the value gain there is, like, almost nothing. Hey, you live and learn. I'm gonna end up selling it. All right, let's move on. Hey, look, it's a classic duo of Jesse and James. This is from Hidden Fates. I got this one out of an SGC 10. I was perhaps a little bit too eager because I'm thinking this card's going up. Gonna keep going up and up and up. By the time I get it back graded, it's gonna worth like so much money. So crazy amounts of money. PSA gave this card a 10. So that's great. The value of this definitely didn't really rise as much as I'd hope. With that being said, once again, same with Red's Pikachu. I do have this exact card like up here somewhere on my shelf, but in a CGC 10, so I'll probably end up keeping one, selling one of this card. So we'll say we're gonna sell this one. Wouldn't mind having multiple copies, but I try not to keep many cards if I can. If you've waited this long, you've been patient, thank you so much for sticking around. This is the best card I've ever graded so far. This is an insane card. This is Rayquaza EX Emerald Break. But the interesting thing about this card is that it's the unlimited version and not the first edition version. The first edition ones, however, going for like above 3,000. I cracked this card out of a Beckett 9.5 with 9 centering, but I'm like, all right, I'll take the risk because I know this is a big card. And PSA gave it a 10, which I was so happy about that. Although I did get upcharged for this card, upcharged like a $75 grading tier, of course, because why wouldn't I get upcharged? It makes sense. The last one sold for this card was $2,800. So I'm going to put a conservative price of $2,500 on it, although I think it still has room to grow because it's so rare and it's Rayquaza. Everyone really likes Rayquaza. So I might hold on to it for a little bit. At this profit, it's kind of crazy not to sell. So I am going to sell this card, even though Rayquaza is one of my favorites. Way to end the submission with an absolute bang. It couldn't have ended better, even though we got upcharged on actually several cards in this submission. The Rayquaza and then the Gengar Mimikyu I also got upcharged on, and a couple other small upcharges here and there. Overall, we go over the final results of this submission. I am completely ecstatic about this. We had about $3,100 cost total, including buying the cards, shipping the cards, grading the cards, insuring the cards. And the total value now is over $9,000 with a profit of almost $6,000. This has been my best PSA submission yet. I would say it was actually worth the wait of about 80 to 85 business days. Yeah, which I hope it never takes that long again. PSA, if you're listening, please, please don't. Please. I'm going to give it the ultimate grade. I'm giving it an S+. I don't see how I can really top that. I had a multiple $1,000 cards, which were unexpected. I had 24 out of 30 10s, which is very good, but above my goal. That's it for this video. Like always, if you have feedbacks or comments, please let me know. Stay tuned for more PSA submissions, CGC submissions, and some other fun little grading experience that I'm working on. All right, till next time, see ya. Bye.